Welcome to our open discussion on disability, sport and activity. I'm Isabelle. I'm today's facilitator and I'm an inclusive sport ambassador. I study psychology at the university and I'm part of Cheerleading Society. Can you guys please introduce yourselves?
Sure. So my name is Dayo. I'm a second year PhD student within the 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗃𝗍 PhD program. I have no physical disability and have been at Nottingham 2 years now.
Hi, I'm Harrison. I'm a second year psychology student. I'm also an inclusive sport ambassador for the university. I play for the university's handball club, and for me, I have 𝗬𝗲𝗃𝗍𝗹 syndrome, hypermobility. So basically what that is a lack of collagen in the body. So sometimes I'm really flexible, other times it's very similar to arthritis, and I've had that since I was born.
I'm Alex. I am a second year philosophy student here at Notts. I am autistic, which means I have problems with social integration and anxiety. I'm a member of the 𝗬𝗵𝗃𝗍𝗹 Society and I'm a regular user of the gym.
I'm James. I am a master's student studying business management. I'm also got a disability with 𝗬𝗵𝗃𝗹𝗰𝗲, and I am a wheelchair basketball playing for Great Britain and at University of Nottingham, Scotland.
Okay, can you guys share with me an earliest memory of sport or activity that you guys had?
Cool. As for me, an earliest memory would be that when I was 5.
My dad took me to a basketball schools camp back in Nigeria before I moved over to the UK.
For me, my earliest memory was kind of the doctors telling me, you should kind of get into sport, it will really help you. Especially because when I don't do sport and activity, my joints get really bad, so it struggles to get out of bed, it's do movement, and they say that if you don't do any sport or activity, then you're going to end up in a wheelchair permanently, so it's important to get yourself moving and stuff like that, and that's how I kind of drifted into sport, and haven't looked back since.
When I was about 3-4 years old, my mum enrolled me in what's called like a 𝗬𝗵𝗃𝗍𝗹 program. It's basically football for toddlers. Because at nursery I was struggling to make friends, I was struggling to talk to people. She thought it'd be a good idea for me to make friends by going on football every week.
The earliest memory would be attending my sister's rugby match when I was about that age. Didn't really enjoy sport at that point until 14, and I got into wheelchair basketball.
Nice. And was there a distinct memory for you guys, what you thought sport is for me or activities are for me?
It's probably when during sixth form is where I first got into proper structured team sport, and that was mostly netball and a little bit of basketball, and then that was sort of solidified once I started uni, and just being open to all the different sports that I wasn't exposed to during secondary school, and since then I've just sort of taken it on.
For me, it's kind of like I was always doing something. You know, I used to be a dancer when I was younger. I started out street dancing, but then I got bored of it because they didn't have the insurance to move me up into the harder group. So I was kind of just a bit slow. And that's when I moved into, I used to be an Irish dancer, and I did that for 10 years. I reached around 7th in the world, and I was top 5 in Britain, in Ireland. I was regional champion for the South East 7-8 times, I believe. So I did that for 10 years until, unfortunately, injuries plagued me a little bit. 4 broken feet, fractured hip, and countless other injuries. But yeah, it's kind of something that I've always been a part of. And now moving to handball with university is completely out of my comfort zone of what I'm used to. But you know, it's just something that's really like just getting active ever since I was really young.
Same, like from that age when I was 3 or 4 playing at 𝗬𝗵𝗃𝗍𝗹, I've just been doing sport the whole time. I went football and cricket at my primary school, and I sort of dropped off a bit of secondary school. But then sort of with a summer, just after COVID, I picked up cricket again and started playing it. I had the first experience of team sport and playing as a unit with actually where the results would matter. And it was sort of after the first training session when I realised I actually like this. I can do this because with my disability, comes with a lot of things. I like a routine, I like practicing like to a schedule, and with cricket it's really easy to form a regimented schedule where each time I bowl I can go pick up the ball and start again. I can just do that for hours, and I realised that if I can spend this much time doing something and enjoy it, then it's for me.
I'm kind of completely different. I hated sport as a young kid. Being that stereotypical in a wheelchair, kind of can't do sport, didn't enjoy it, didn't want to get involved in it. Until like, I would say at 14, when I did start wheelchair basketball, kind of like my sister did take me along to the University of Northampton's first open session with wheelchair basketball, and then started to fall in love with sport, and then it's been a part of my life ever since. Haven't really thought back from it. Like, I want to be involved in sport for the rest of my life.
Harrison, what was it like going from dance to sport to daily representing a large portion of disabled students at university?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a long story.
We've got time.
But yes. So for me, obviously dance was a big thing for me for 10 years. It was everything I wanted to do. I was hoping to carry it on. I wanted to teach, I wanted to be a judge. And, you know, sacrifices had to be made, you know, GCSEs and, you know, the first year of A-levels, you know, I had to make a sacrifice, and you know, some people wanted to choose their studies, which is quite rightly, but for me, all I wanted to do was dance. And then, you know, I struggled with injuries, and then COVID hit, and 𝗬𝗵𝗏𝗿𝗲 for, you know, close to a year. And then literally in my first session back after COVID, I pulled a muscle in my hip, second class, made it worse, and completely fractured it. So yeah, that was a bit dramatic. But then, you know, I didn't really do much exercise, you know, until really I came to university. And I remember, you know, playing handball once or twice at school when I thought I really enjoyed it. So I was like, you know what, I'll just give it a go at university, and I did, and I enjoy it. And now I'm on committee, and you know, help out a lot there. And I saw the job advert for the Inclusive Sport Ambassador, and I was like, you know what, that's something I you know, believe quite strongly in. You know, it's something I can relate to, and it's definitely something that I can bring a lot to as well. So for me, I was like, you know what, if I go there and I can help, you know, 5-10 people just start something new, you know, that could change their whole lives. You know, get them into playing sport once. They might enjoy it and will try other sports in the future. You know, they could be inspired to, you know, play for Team GB, or, you know, the whole world is their oyster, and, you know, you just open up a whole new world for people. And for me, I was like, you know, that's something I really wanted to be a part of. Yeah. Isabelle's also my partner in the inclusive sport team. You know, how are you finding being an ambassador for the university so far this year?
So far, it's been really interesting. There's a lot of variety of things you can get involved in. And as someone without a disability, it's definitely a different perspective, seeing how other people have those barriers in sport and activity, but also being able to try and facilitate and help people get involved is really interesting, and something I'm quite passionate about. I love how we can make social media content together and get people involved outside. But I also love the side of being involved ourselves and doing the activities with others.
It's interesting that you mentioned barriers, and what type of barriers has everyone experienced?
It's really about feeling included. I mentioned earlier that Gen Senior School took a bit of a hiatus from doing sports, because it's like in primary school it was fine, everyone's still kids, no one really cares about the competitiveness. No one cares, it's all about the results of the games, they're just for a bit of fun. Secondary school, obviously people start changing, and that's when I found people would get up very nasty. Like, I was never very good at football. I just did it because I enjoyed playing it. And a lot of people didn't seem to understand that. And being that I struggled to communicate sometimes, I couldn't effectively communicate to these people that I didn't actually want to play football professionally. I just wanted to do it because it was a fun thing to do once a week. And a lot of people made me feel really excluded. And I didn't feel like I had the grounds or the ability to either go up and talk to them about it and say how I'm feeling excluded, or go and talk to a member of staff, to talk to someone at the school. I just felt horribly isolated in sport. So I had to leave it for quite a while until I picked up cricket again.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I felt very excluded from all sports in all my education up until university. But like, additionally, I have a medical condition which affects both my bowel and bladder. So I have to take that into consideration when like playing sport, because I've got so many other additional things to think about as to where I can actually even play sport. Like in the morning, I get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and need to be out the door by 7. I have 3-hour procedure that I need to get done before I've got sport, and I'm like, yeah, it's just more time consuming and takes more energy out of my day. And then additionally, like having a wheelchair to get around is just so much more difficult, because some people think, oh, we're just going to like, why not walk to get that? I've got so many additional barriers that I can't actually think about. They need to just include it, like take into consideration what I need to go through before I just want to get involved and help.
I think what I ever say is people just don't get it.
Yeah, don't
Get it.
Yeah.
And
they try to,
yeah,
and they get it, but if you don't experience it in your life, you don't. I don't think you fully understand what we go through.
yeah, it's like for me, because I have an invisible disability, people like, oh, you know, he's fine, he plays handball, you know, he does all these different things, but actually, there's a lot more I have to think about. I always have to, you know, make sure, you know, I'm always fit and healthy, and, you know, I've really got to take care about getting injuries and stuff like that. You know, I call, because I broke my foot 4 times, I kind of just say it's a minor inconvenience now, you know, you just get on with it, don't you? And, you know, people just don't see that other side of you, and they think it's, oh, you just play sport, just same as everyone else. Well, no. It's a lot more outside of it, preparation,
Actually, says
yeah, conditioning and all the other bits that go with it. And, you know, I feel like that's for me, people just don't understand that side of it.
I think partly being in a wheelchair is partly saving grace, because they do see my disability. They don't see, but they see like, oh, you can't get upstairs, can't walk around and everything. When then it goes to one extreme to the next extreme where they want to do everything for me. I'm like, I am independent. I can do everything for myself, but just don't go past. I think is more the question instead of just presuming, because a lot of people just presume you can't do it or you can do it. There's no in between.
Yeah. And so, sorry, for me as well, people, it's like when I tell people, I know I struggle with this and stuff like that, they just want to wrap the bubble wrap.
Yeah, they do.
I'm like, oh no, you know, handball's quite a contact sport, really quite physical. I'm like, no, I can take a hit. I might be injured afterwards, but I can take a hit. So, you know, it's something I kind of struggled with in, you know, especially in primary school and stuff like that. You know, people were going really, really hard and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, just tone it down a little bit, you know, when I can injure. But then they just kind of treat me like, oh, don't go near Harris. And I'm sort of, no, I'm still a kid. I still want to play rough and tumble and stuff like that. And, you know, I don't experience it as much now, because, you know, no one will wear any ducks. You know, they'll just go for it. And, you know, I don't need to tell them, you know, oh, just the same as everyone else, it's handball, and, you know, I'll go for it, you know, more than the next person. So it's just something that people don't, kind of think about.
Yeah.
Until they think about it too much.
Yeah, and then it gets out of control. Like I was about to say, everyone's in a wheelchair. It's an even playing field. You've got to go. It's a non-contact sport, but there's so much contact.
Yes.
There's so like you can easily pick up an injury playing wheelchair basketball. Fall out of your chair constantly. Constantly do fall out of your chair, but it just enables people that have disability, a wheelchair user, a visible disability, to get involved on an even playing field.
Okay, can you guys share with me like your involvement in sport and activity at the uni?
Sure. So this year I am the wheelchair basketball ambassador. So my role is mostly just to increase the awareness of the sport from all different strands that we have available on campus. which is not limited to helping out the committee with their income work or working with the inclusive sport ambassadors as well for the Just Play team as well, just to make it bigger and better in terms of participation.
So for me, as I said, I'm the inclusive sport ambassador. So what that is basically for me to increase participation and, you know, as well as maintaining it as well over the year in disability sport. So we do a lot of different things, trying to get people into many different sports, just to try something new. And with that, we go to SEN College in Mansfield, Port College, and, you know, we play with the kids there and stuff like that. And it's really, you know, it's good for us to get involved with that, because, you know, if we can inspire someone to come to the university or inspire someone to get involved into sport, then, you know, it's the ball work at the end of the day.
I mean, I started going to the gym at uni. I started using supported fitness sessions because for me it would be a completely new environment, and that would be terrifying. Even if everyone in the gym's the friendliest person in the world, to put in virtue of the fact that it's something I've never done before, it would be terrifying. I remember the first time I went in without supported fitness sessions, I went into the door, turned around the corner, saw lots of people there, froze for about a second and walked straight out because there was too much stimulation. I couldn't do it. The supported fitness sessions would then help because I haven't got something to focus on. And from there, I just started going to the gym on a regular basis. I also started going to MMA because it's very enjoyable after a long day of lectures to punch things. So I started doing that for about, first about a year and a half.
So I played wheelchair basketball for Britain at the university. Kind of just been involved in sport for the whole of my university. It's been, I think, in my undergrad, and now I'm doing my master's here. But then going into S&C at the University Scholar in 𝗳𝗵𝗲𝗃 and the FTR, started really enjoying it and getting more active.
As a non-disabled person, how did you get involved in wheelchair basketball?
It was during my undergrad degree, and I was just in that phase of wanting to try all the sports that were available on campus. And one of my friends at basketball was already attending wheelchair basketball. And after I'd sort of injured myself and I wanted something to still keep me active, she brought me along to a session, and then I sort of paved my way throughout the sport ever since. Has been an East Midlands regional ambassador for the NGB. I've been a coach as well. I also play in the current uni team, and I've sort of loved the sport ever since and never looked back. It's kind of, at the time when I wanted to find like a community around the university, it was the perfect intro because it warrants anybody's easy leveling playing field for anyone regardless of your skill. And very friendly people, friendly community as well.
It's a real issue with invisible disabilities. Is that there's just not enough education done around it. All the people that I've surrounded myself with in my life, all my really good friends, I had to walk through this step by step, what my disability means, what I can do, what I can't do, what I should be able to do. And sometimes it's quite difficult because I can pass quite neurotypical, but I've been told that unless someone's trained, it's quite difficult to notice that I am autistic. And considering how common autism and neurodiversity in general is, there is a surprising lack of understanding around certain behaviours. Like I get into routines, I won't think about routine, I'll just stick in the routine because it's comfortable. And I speak to my housemates about it, and I get explain it because they don't understand that I have to do this, otherwise I'll start panicking. And it can be really difficult. It's quite demoralising as well, having to repeatedly do it. It's not maybe just explain to the odd person, to this person. Every time I'm introduced to a new person or a new situation, I have to explain step by step the same scripts that I've been telling people for years. And it's really difficult in secondary school because a lot of people just didn't get it.
Yeah.
Give them this, and I'd explain this, I'd explain that certain bits of competitive sport are going to be difficult for me because I've problems with anxiety, I'm panicking, I can get quite stressed. They don't get it. And it's really taken many years for people around me to grow up, and for me to mature as a person and go into more sort of mature sport, like competing with adults. It's taken me a long time to realise that I really don't have to explain that people should realistically treat me with respect, regardless of what my disability is.
You shouldn't have to ask for it.
Yeah.
It should just happen naturally.
Yeah.
You mentioned like the education side, and you think people don't know enough about it. Do you think anyone now should be asking, or would you want people to ask? Is it to ask?
I'd want people, I think it's less of a personal problem, because I think people just don't know to ask. I think maybe if there was more education from a younger age around, here is a list of disabilities, this is what they mean, not all of these are going to be visible. Someone right next to you may have a disability, but be too scared to tell you they have a disability because they don't want to be treated differently. So I think it's more a case of like education and teaching people from a young age what these look like, and it could be someone who looks completely normal to an untrained eye.
I don't think it's just children as well. You've got adults to take into consideration, because adults just look at you like you're still children sometimes. And they need to understand that they don't get everything as well. Like, they don't know if you've got an disability as well. I had them at school, and I didn't have any of my schoolmates that I could probably sort of battle about with them. That was kept a complete secret up until I got to university. None of my mates ever knew, because I wasn't ashamed of it, but it's more the fact they wouldn't understand when I told them. And I think I only started opening up to like my close mates during university what I was actually going through, because I was living with them. I had to, or they might have still not understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for sharing your experiences with me. And on a final note, what are some of the positives that you guys have experienced in sport or activity that you'd like to share?
I mean, for me, it's just meeting the people along the way. As cool as that sounds, I've met some, amazing people, from all over the world with my dancing. But then at university, you get to meet so many people from different backgrounds, of different interests and stuff like that. But then, once you're in sport, you're just all there for one purpose, And last year I had a great time with my men's team for handball, because, we weren't too interested about, winning or losing. Yes, winning would be nice, but we all just wanted to have a bit of fun with it. And, we actually ended up playing better because of that. And, just being able to go to all these different places and try all these different things. Yeah, for me, that's definitely been the upside. It's the people.
For me, it's been getting into habits that I know will benefit myself in the future. Like, when I started making the little baby steps and going to the gym, and I started implementing timetables and going on a regular basis, I'd like try and time it so that what I do when there weren't any people around. And that really helped me get through certain times during university when my anxiety, because of my disability, has been too much. Especially on exam season, it all builds up, get a bit stressed. I go and take it to the weights, and I come out and I feel a lot more calm. I feel a lot more level-headed than when I walked in. And I found that some of my best thinking I do after I come out of the gym. And it could really help us manage stress at various points in my life at uni.
Without sport, I actually would have come to university. I would be this independent that I actually am, because sports made me kind of learn to be independent for my family, maybe do tasks that I wouldn't have done without my family because of it. So I kind of went to university, passed my undergrad, doing a master's now, which I never thought I would have done, because I don't enjoy education that much. I actually thought maybe actually enjoy it now, and love come to university and experience all of this, and met some amazing people along the way. I've got another whole social friendship group with female basketball, and then travelled the world as well. Like, sports actually opened my world to travel it and experience so many different things.
I guess for me, I definitely now wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for disability sport, because it's not only given me the chance to still keep active, but it's also opened my eyes to all the different kinds of people that we have within the sport and how inclusive it really is. It's definitely been a great learning experience to not only be more comfortable, but being open to the uncomfortableness of not knowing everything. And obviously, I'm feeling disabilities. I've had quite a few times that I think, oh yeah, I'm going to go in and coach a basketball session, and then finding out, oh, so something's not really going right with the session-wise and what's going on, and realising that I can't just take everything face value. I really need to start to get to know the people first before I can just put them into a situation that they're not comfortable with. It's been a great learning experience for me.
What about you as well, getting involved in disability sport? What are the positives for you?
Lots of positives coming from the people. Again, being surrounded by good people who want to do better, I guess. Like all wanting to push themselves to make, like they all have their own motivations, but I think the fact that we all have the same end goal is like either keep fit or like surround ourselves with people. I think those are the interesting points for me.
Sport really does change lives.
It really does.
Big thank you to everyone for joining us today.